observation lounge, overlooking the station's central core. Large windows showed the stars outside, perfectly placed and twinkling as they should. The artificial night cycle made the lounge feel peaceful, almost inviting, but the tension in the air was thick. Rafey sat on a bench beside Noodly, his orange bow drooping from exhaustion. After a long silence, he looked up, his voice soft and weary, but still holding on to that small hope. The parents are probably worried about us by now. They might have kept the dessert warm. We could show them everything we saw today. Can we please go back to the apartment? Just for dessert, and to say goodnight. Noodly's paw rested on Rafey's back. His voice came out hoarse and strained, the grief heavy in every syllable. Not yet, Rafey. We can't go back until we know it's safe. I promise I'm trying to keep us safe. Agatha stood near the window, watching the reflections carefully. The cold spot had grown so strong it felt like a physical presence in the room, centered around the empty seats across from them. Shadows moved with clear delay. The stars outside the window seemed perfect, but one reflection in the glass showed them slightly out of alignment. The wasps hummed a constant, urgent warning. She kept her observations to herself, but the pattern was undeniable. Rocky leaned against the wall, his Stetson in his paws. His protective stubbornness had finally started to break under the weight of everything they had seen. Noodly. I don't know how much longer I can argue this. The kid keeps asking for the same simple thing all day. Those folks in the apartment cooked for us, smiled at us, treated us like family. Rafey lost Fischl today, and now we're dragging him through test after test, instead of letting him have one moment of normal. Maybe we should let him have the dessert. Maybe we're the ones making this worse by fighting so hard. George sat with his head in his hands, his optimism almost gone. Everything keeps looking right, but it feels wrong now. I don't know what to believe anymore. Grok stood perfectly still, running continuous scans. Ambient conditions remained stable on the surface. However, internal cross-referencing shows increasing chronological drift in our shared memories. Noodly stood and walked to the window. He pressed his forehead against the cool glass for a moment, trying to steady himself. Let's do one final test here. Tell me something only we would know from the real layers, something the entity couldn't fake. They went around the group. George spoke first. My sister made that pie with the special crust, the one we ate in the diner during the longest night. Rocky added, I left my crew behind in that bad jump. Told you about it during the ritual. Rafey whispered, my brother called me to play in the tunnels. Agatha said quietly, the wasps laid something inside me. I hear them when hope fails. Noodly nodded slowly, and my parents' last transmission described the town inside the pocket, the fountain, the voices begging to be let in. They all looked at each other. The memories still felt real. But then Grok spoke, cross-referencing those events against the current layer's data. Subtle alterations are appearing. The pie is now associated with the parents' kitchen. The bad jump is listed as a successful mission. The brother's voice is mixed with the parents calling us home. The pocket is described as never having existed. Noodly's voice cracked completely this time. Tears welled in his eyes as he turned to the group. It's overriding us. Bit by bit, the longer we stay, the more this fake version becomes the only story we remember. My parents, they're not real. None of this is real. Rafey looked down at the floor, his ears flat. I just wanted dessert with family. Rocky finally lowered his head, the last of his denial slipping away. I was trying to protect the kid, but you're right. This cold, these slips. It's the same trap wearing a kinder face. Agatha spoke softly but firmly. The entity learned from the last layer. It's not using fear or loud hope anymore. It's using quiet comfort, family, normalcy, and it's winning. She did not mention the small white shape she had seen gliding past the window outside, moving in calm circles through the vacuum of space as if it needed no suit, orange cap bright against the stars before vanishing again. Only she had seen it. The group sat in heavy silence. The stars outside the window remained perfect, but the cold spot in the room had grown so strong that everyone's breath was now visible. The layer was still holding, but its mask was cracking.